One day, something may walk the earth that looks nothing like us, and yet, it will be our child. This isn't science fiction. It's evolutionary inevitability. Picture this, the world 100,000 years from now. Cities crumbled into dust. Forests overtake metal. Satellites drift silently through a darkening sky. And in the silence, something stirs, something bipedal, intelligent, aware. But it is not Homo sapiens. It is something else. Could we evolve again into a new species? The question haunts both biology and philosophy. Are we the endpoint of evolution, or merely a page in its endless script? Cameras fade through fossil records, neural networks, and ancient genomes. The human journey, it turns out, may not be finished. Our biology, once shaped by lions and ice ages, is now influenced by algorithms and climate collapse. And evolution, patient and invisible, is still at work. This documentary is not about fantasy. It is about possibility. Scientific, genetic, and environmental. And it begins with a challenge to our deepest assumption. That we are the final form. We are not. We may just be the transition. Evolution, to most, feels like an ancient whisper, something that happened in the heat of Africa, in caves lit by firelight. But it is not past. It is not finished. It is the quiet architect behind every breath, heartbeat, and thought. Charles Darwin's 19th-century revelation, that natural selection crafts species over millennia, revolutionized how we see ourselves. But today, we know the machinery is far more complex. Genetic drift, mutation, epigenetics, environmental pressure, and culture all shape the arc of our biological destiny. Humans, once shaped by predators and ice ages, now live in a world ruled by medicine, artificial habitats, and global networks. Our evolution has not stopped, but the rules have changed. No longer do we wait for nature to mold us. We edit genomes, suppress disease, prolong life. And in doing so, we may be setting the stage for divergence. For speciation. For the birth of a post-human future. Rewind the clock. 6 million years. The first bipedal hominins diverged from our chimpanzee cousins. By 2.5 million years ago, Homo habilis fashioned stone tools. By 1.8 million years ago, Homo erectus spreads across continents. Then comes Homo heidelbergensis, Neanderthalensis, Denisova, and finally us, Homo sapiens, sculpted in Africa some 300,000 years ago. The timeline is not linear, it is a braided river of evolution. Species emerge, overlap, interbreed, and vanish. And at each fork in the road, pressures determined fate, climate shocks, resource scarcity, migrations. Evolution was never just about strength or intelligence. It was about adaptability, cooperation, creativity. Today, we stand as the only surviving hominin species. But the fossil record reminds us, extinction and emergence are twin forces. They whisper, this has happened before. And if it has, it could happen again. From the sun-baked valleys of Olduvai Gorge to the windswept caves of Denisova in Siberia, we've uncovered the blueprints of evolution. Bones, tools, ochre markings, each site a frozen echo of change. In Ethiopia's Afar region, the discovery of Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis, rewrote our understanding of bipedalism. In Morocco, 300,000-year-old Homo sapiens fossils pushed back our species' origin story. These sites are more than ruins, they are data points in the long algorithm of transformation. They show punctuated leaps in cranial volume, tool sophistication, dietary diversity. And most importantly, they show variability, the raw material of evolution. If these landscapes birth new species once, they offer insight into how pressures, isolation, and innovation might again drive divergence. Evolution doesn't need millions of years. In the right environment, it only needs a spark. Our DNA is a palimpsest of past lives. Within our cells lie the whispers of Neanderthals, Denisovans, and earlier hominins, whose genetic fragments still echo in modern humans. The Human Genome Project and CRISPR technology now allow us to read and write these codes. But they've also revealed something startling: evolution is still occurring, just differently. Lactose tolerance in adults, sickle cell resistance to malaria, high-altitude adaptations in Tibetans, all emerged within the last 10,000 years. These are not ancient relics. They are living mutations. Evolution today happens not in isolation, but in networks. Urbanization, pollution, diet, digital stress, these are our new selection pressures. And where pressure exists, evolution responds. Scientists now model speciation-by-technology, a future where subpopulations altered by bioengineering, AI integration, or space colonization may no longer be Homo sapiens in any traditional sense. Not science fiction. Just accelerated divergence. Theories abound, not wild conspiracies, but grounded extrapolations. One model predicts Homo techno, a hybrid of human biology and machine augmentation, tailored for longevity and cognitive expansion. Another suggests Homo celestis, a lineage adapted to microgravity, radiation, and Mars' thin atmosphere. But there's a quieter theory, one not of advancement, but regression, the devolution into niche specialists, isolated groups losing traits they no longer need. Could a climate catastrophe fragment humanity into subspecies adapted to survival in deserts, mountains, or underground bunkers? Evolution does not care about intelligence. It selects for survival. And in that brutal calculus, even Homo sapiens could split, not with a bang, but with a drift. Across millennia, these changes may crystallize into new species entirely, unrecognizable, unrelatable, yet undeniably human in origin. Look around. Our world is already split along genomic lines, not of superiority, but of divergence. Some populations are accessing gene therapies to eliminate inherited disease. Others are exposed to chronic malnutrition, war, and ecological collapse. Artificial intelligence augments some minds. Others grow up without electricity. We are not evolving at the same speed, or under the same pressures. Add to this the rise of synthetic biology, embryo editing, neural lace, and AI symbiosis, and a scenario unfolds where biological inequality becomes biological incompatibility. In the Anthropocene, evolution's driver is not nature, it is culture. And culture, as always, is uneven. Our species may be splitting already. Quietly. Genetically. Ideologically. This is not destiny. But it is a warning. Speciation begins with difference. And we are more different now than ever before. What once took eons may now take decades. Scientists at Harvard, the Broad Institute, and across the globe are mapping predictive models for evolutionary pathways based on CRISPR edits, population genetics, and environmental simulation. Could we design new traits, radiation resistance, emotional dampening, cognitive acceleration? Could future astronauts be genetically tailored for life on Titan or Enceladus? And what happens when the engineered human breeds with the unmodified? Will culture prevent it, or biology? The future of evolution lies at the crossroads of ethics, power, and unpredictability. We are the first species to hold the keys to our own evolutionary trajectory. But we do so without a guidebook. We may not become a new species through natural selection. We may sculpt one, or many, by choice. Here lies the question beneath all others: if we change too much, are we still human? Evolution is not merely biology, it is identity. Consciousness. Memory. Culture. If a new species of human arose, it would not just be different in genes, but in dreams, in fears, in stories told to its children. Would they worship gods? Build cities? Remember us? Or would we be to them what Homo erectus is to us? A curiosity, a stepping stone, a forgotten ancestor. To evolve again is to accept that human is not a destination, but a moment. A fragile one. And if that moment fades, what echoes will we leave? Fade to a desert under strange stars. A figure walks alone, tall, translucent-skinned, eyes adapted to darkness. It pauses, gazing at the rusted remnants of a satellite dish. Somewhere deep in its DNA, a whisper lingers, a code inherited from a species long gone. Us. And though it cannot remember our language, it carries our fire. Our curiosity. Our echo. We asked, could we evolve again into a new species? The truth is, we always were becoming. Every breath, every generation, a ripple forward. And in the far silence of time, when Earth itself forgets our name, evolution will remember. Not who we were, but what we became.